Labor Day weekend. You know what that means? It means summer's almost over. No more going outside, no more cutting the grass, no more playing basketball, baseball. But what if there was a way where you could sit on your butt, have a beer, smoke cigars, and play beach volleyball? Well, with the Nintendo Entertainment System, and Kings of the Beach and Super Spike V-Ball, you can.
Kings of the Beach was originally published by Electronic Arts for early computers such as the Commodore 64, long before Electronic Arts became the giant sports game publisher that we know it today. This port for the Nintendo Entertainment System, however, was published by Ultra Games, which was a secondary publishing house under parent company Konami. The reason why they did it this way was because Nintendo had strict licensing policies that only allowed game companies to produce so many games per year for the NES. And since Konami was such a prolific game publisher back then, they established a secondary company, Ultra Games, to get around that rule. The music in Kings of the Beach is probably my favorite part of the game. It's a very upbeat and really good sounding tune that never seems to get boring and has really nice percussion samples, things like that in it. Graphically, the sprites aren't very large, but they're quite detailed, and their movements are pretty smooth, and there's all kinds of neat little details, such as when a guy misses a ball and he kicks the sand, or when your two guys pull off a good play and they high-five each other. It's pretty standard doubles beach volleyball. You can either play a single match or you can get in a tournament. The game was also compatible with the, I forget what the name of it is, but the tap that you could plug into your NES to plug in 4 controllers, and you can have up to 4 players at once. Here it's just me. I'm the guy in the pink shirt on the left, and I have a CPU partner playing against 2 CPU opponents. Now, one of the most fun parts of the game is not letting your CPU partner do any of the spikes, because generally he stinks at it. I usually try and either spike his bumps, or if the ball is coming to him, you get in front of him and surprise the opponent by spiking the ball down, as I just did there. There's 3 types of serves in the game. You have the bump serve, the missed overhand serve, the overhand serve, the missed jump serve, and the actual jump serve itself, which adds just a little bit of variety to the game. As you're going to see here, I'm going to get into a pretty good spiking back and forth match with the computer opponents. One of the unique features of the game is the ability to argue close calls and some not so close calls with the referee, and you can actually get some decisions reversed. The first one is a freebie if the judge decides not to reverse it. All arguments after that will result in a loss of point if he decides not to reverse the decision. Super Spike V-Ball is more of an arcade-style volleyball game, originally published by Technos in Japan, who brought us the Double Dragon series. As a result of that, one of the teams that you can select is Billy and Jimmy Lee of Double Dragon fame. Each of the 4 teams has a different set of characteristics to it that definitely affect the gameplay. I selected Billy and Jimmy Lee as they have the best defense, which to me is the most desirable thing you're going to need, as you will see later on. There's 2 types of serve. You have the jump serve like I just did there, or the standard overhand serve, which is fine because the bump serve is kind of gay anyway, and definitely not needed in this game. Graphically, it's a little bit different than Kings of the Beach. The sprites are larger, and the court is a bit smaller, which is fine because it lends to the arcade feel of the game. Super Spike V-Ball's main claim to fame is the ability to deliver a devastating super spike against your opponent, thereby sending them flying in the ball, hopefully into the crowd, so that you score a point. As you can see, I was on the receiving end of one of these, but I managed to save it, and then set myself up to deliver a punishing super spike on my own. Now, the gameplay of the game is pretty simple. When the ball comes over to your side, it automatically switches control to the player closest to the ball, so you're always in control of what happens, unlike in Kings of the Beach where you only control one character. just like Kings of the Beach, Super Spike V-Ball is compatible with the 4-player tap for the NES, which can result in hours of fun with you and 3 other players, or if you're a loser like me, yourself and 3 CPU opponents. One of my favorite techniques to use against human opponents is to spike down the opposing player's serve. The reason this works so well is that when you're receiving the ball, the other person can't see their player as he's off screen, and you can very quickly spike the ball past them. My little brother and I used to play this game a lot when we were younger, and he used to hate that when I would do that to him. Again, happy Labor Day, everybody. I caught myself a nice buzz drinking Keystone Light while doing this review, and hopefully you have done the same, because that is the only way to enjoy the crappy reviews that come from Classic Game Vault. If you still have your Nintendo Entertainment System, I highly recommend picking up these 2 classic NES carts, because they are the next best thing. In fact, they are probably better than actually getting on a beach and playing volleyball, because this is the best way to play volleyball while sitting on your ass, drinking beer, and smoking cigars, much like I do most of the time.